Marcus Rashford. Oh, glorious! That is a special one.
Good evening to everyone out there, and welcome to United Hour. I'm your host, Robert Wallace, and today is a nice day to be a fan of Manchester. Today is always a news day, with this club. And as per usual, I'm never here alone. I'm here with some great guests today. Devin, how you doing, my friend?
Not bad. Thanks for having me on as always.
All
It's,
right.
it's nice to be in the guest seat this time.
Oh yeah,
So
I know. Don't
yeah.
worry, man. In like 2 minutes' time, you will regret your decision because I'm a horrible host, horrible. And my man Zahir, how you?
All good, all good, all good. Let's try
All
to spread a
right.
little peace and positivity.
And last but not least, Kesty Band. Where did you perform this weekend? Because I find this weekend came and I didn't see you. I didn't see you.
I needed a break.
Now, when you see this weekend, like
Nice,
you can't not perform this weekend, eh?
the nice white shores of Tobago. I
Well,
want to go back,
oh well.
but that heat over there different, boy.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, no. But you see, this weekend, our club needs you this weekend, right? So you need to, get your band together, you understand, and organize and go up the road.
Yeah.
Because if it's one thing about our club that we must love, is never a dull moment. Never ever a dull moment. You know?
Like I'm
And
flame, it is just a tracket.
boy,
Unless you're
well,
living in Maguire household.
already. No, no. You see, the nice thing about being host is I have nothing bad to say. I will leave all my bad comments to Zahir and to Devin. Today, I will be a very well behaved man. I'll be very, very well behaved today. Very well behaved. You know, but
That will last. That will last long, though.
yeah, no, never with me at all. So getting into the program today, um, we're gonna start with our first topic, the Mason Greenwood saga. Now the club, Richard Arnold and Mason Greenwood have all released statements, and by mutual consent, they have all agreed that Mason would not continue with the club. Now, for everyone who have read the statements, they all more or less echo the same sentiments that it was a thing that took time for them to make a decision, um, and it was not an easy thing to do, but they all felt that it was in the best interest of the club to that Mason Greenwood should not continue being a player for Manchester. Now, Mason's statements, um, I would say that he at least acknowledged, his part to play, even though each statement said that Mason Greenwood did not commit what the crimes that he was accused of. But yet the club still made the decision to allow him to leave. Now, in my opinion, this seems like it seems very fishy to me. It doesn't seem right because if you're saying that he's innocent, then are you why are you letting him leave? It seems to me that our owners again are playing PR and politics because if we were led to believe by all their statements, they had all intentions to bring Mason Greenwood back into the fold of the club. But that being said, they made their decision. I will ask all of you guys, how do you all feel about it? I mean, was it the right choice? Was it the wrong choice? Were they cowards to back out from their initial decision? And how will this now affect the team? I will start with Devin.
Well, I want to start with my beliefs on the situation. First of all, I believe that originally you go back to about a week, 2 weeks ago, and it was somehow reported or leaked out, I should say, that he was potentially going to come back into the team. And of course, then they got all that backlash from it. There's still a part of me that believes that was intentionally leaked out just to gauge a public reaction. And because I believe they had every intent of bringing him back into that team. And they just wanted to like kind of leak it out to gauge how the public would view it. And once again, just like what happened with the original Super League, the public opinion was not what they expected, and then they had to retract and come up with different statements. Second of all, I believe Richard Arnold handled this horribly because now basically, it to me the perception of this is that the court of public opinion mattered more than the court of law. Should have just left it with the law and let them decide from there. But he took people's opinions from different groups and whatnot, and now this is what caused this. And it took way too long to come up with a decision at this point as well too. If he had just said we're leaving it, we will wait until whatever happens, and that we'll go with whatever the court of law says. He did not do that. My fear now with this is that this could open a Pandora's box now, where every time somebody is accused of something, whether they are innocent or not, this will forever tarnish them. Case in point right now. Look at what's happening with Benjamin Mendy right now, where he went back to France, even though he was found innocent and everything as well too. And I know it's a little different situation than Mason Greenwood because he actually went to trial and was found not guilty. But they still held up signs saying rapists are not welcome here and whatnot, and it does not look good because you're allowing the court of public opinion to influence your decisions. That should not have been the case. Should have left it with the law and gone from that. Now, with all this being said, unfortunately, at this point, it was just best for everybody to go their separate ways because no matter what, this is going to be a PR disaster, and this falls on Richard Arnold.
All right. I'll come to Zahir. Did you think that the owners and Mr. Arnold were cowards to back out from their actual choice?
Honestly, without having any sort of inside knowledge of what the club does. And the sad thing is, even if we had an insight into how Arnold and the Glazers think, I don't think we could really understand how these people think because these people clearly don't have common sense when it comes to running a club, right? So throw that out the window one time, expecting a level-headed approach from them and a rational approach from them is like expecting a certain player wearing number 5 to become a good defender. It's not going to happen, right? Personally, as I've always been saying, you do not get a 9-year extension with your shirt manufacturer, who is a company by the name of Adidas, which is one of, if not possibly, the biggest shirt manufacturer in the world, if they were not told what you're going to do with Mason Greenwood, because his name would have to go on their shirt, and they were not okay with it. So it's either they would have already decided that they're going to let him go and just throw it out there to play everybody for fools and make it look like they were listening to others, or they backed out of a decision to keep him when the public backlash hit them. Either way, they're cowards. You should have come out and said what you were really going to do and stand by it. Personally, what I would have preferred in this whole situation is from the moment they were okay up until the point where they would have said in the initial things that they're going to let the investigation run its course and everything, up until the legal process was completed. And that statement was issued where the charges were dropped and the matter was not going to trial. At that point, you should have said something to the effect of Mason Greenwood is still a contracted employee / player / whatever you want to call it at Manchester United. The football club is committed to assisting Mr. Greenwood in whatever rehabilitation, whatever treatment he needs to get, whatever sensitization needs to happen. The club is committed to supporting the alleged victim in this matter. and we will work with Mr. Greenwood in the best interest of his future. Something along that line. That doesn't say you're keeping him. It doesn't say you're letting him go. Now you could have come at this point in time and said after a couple months of whatever has been done, the club and Mr. Greenwood have come to an agreement that in his best interest, we are doing X, Y, Z. My personal take on it is I hope Mason gets to resume his career because that talent is just too good to throw away. I also hope, if he does go somewhere and resume his career, I don't see it being a smash this season. I think it might take until next season for him to really get back into his stride. He's still young. I think, 21, 22 still by now, right? So let's say give him a good 2-3 years to really get back into his stride. And if he's impressing, I hope at that point, people would have been willing now to forgive and forget. Well, no, maybe not forget, but forgive and allow the young man a second chance. Because if the club at that point in time wants to bring him back, that will be a whole different circus and ball.
Now, you bring up a very important point because I will ask you guys if you read the statement didn't necessarily say that they are going to terminate his contract. So, do you think that the door is being left open for him to come back?
Exactly. That is exactly what I was coming to say. Right? They didn't say they was terminating the contract, anything like that. And yet they even said they would help him out to find a club, right? And they will continue assisting him and his fiance now, right? And I hope it's the capacity, not just helping him find a club, but counseling as well, right? Because it's something I read that it had me thinking, right? The kind of relationship they probably have. I ain't saying that is my thinking, but it's just something I read, right? You know, like the physical relationship or physically abusive relationship that Christian Rock and Blueface Killer, for those who don't know him, our American rapper, that they have, I feel it's something, it probably might be something along that line. I could be wrong, but they need...
You could thank Ike and Tina Turner for the OGs doing that.
Right. Right?
Yeah.
They need counseling. They are very young. Right? I see Greg, how to put it? Say, was asking who gonna take him. There are numerous Italian and Saudi clubs, and I think at least one Turkish club interested in him. Mourinho's Roma is one of them, right? But going forward, let me say this. Kester nominate Zahir to take Richard Arnold's place. Because just exactly what Zahir said, that is exactly how you deal with that situation. Right? The very weak where we call them the Crown prosecution in the UK, what they stated concerning that case. Right? You don't let it drag on all this long. Okay? Yeah, so I really believe they leaving that door open. It might be a year or two, a loan for a year to see how it things, or a sale with first option to buy back. Right?
All right. All right. Well, let's go through some of the comments.
I think more importantly,
Yeah, go ahead.
I think there's the typical Zaire.
More importantly, well, to Greg's comment.
Mm.
Well, Greg is asking who would take him, right? Nobody wants to touch him. And I think more importantly is on looking at a club that might be big enough to handle his talent. More importantly than that is finding the right manager and ownership structure for him. This is why a club like Roma and a manager like Jose Mourinho appeals to me. Jose, despite whether you like his style or you don't like his style, is a no-nonsense manager. He's not going to tolerate certain levels of crap from his players. So Mason going there would lend to him having a lot more of a disciplined environment and a structure to what he's trying to rebuild. Right? He mightn't be at the most glamorous club in Italy, but he, for want of without meaning to be disrespectful to Italian culture, it might be a little more lax than him going somewhere else and seeing posters in the stand that saying rapist, as has happened with Benjamin Mendy in France. Right? So finding the right move for him is not just about the league or the club. It's about the manager, because I will go to my grave telling people, if an 18-year-old Cristiano Ronaldo had gone to any other manager when he left the Sporting, besides Sir Alex Ferguson, I don't think he would have gotten the guidance, the love, and the nurturing that he got. Ferguson was the manager at that point in time to help that 18-year-old along the journey to become CR7.
All right. Well, let's go through some of these comments. Good afternoon to Greg. And 0 days without mentioning Harry Maguire, as I hear. 0 days. Right? So let's try and do better. Let's try and do better. It's not his fault. Right? It's not Harry's fault. All right? Harry is just a special man. You know, special. Good afternoon to the Birdman CJ. You understand? Martin Phillip, good afternoon. Good afternoon to Courtney. And well, obviously we discussed this. Who takes him? And I think Kasansa here did mention a few clubs, and I think it is very important that the club and the manager for what he needs right now is very, very key. Martin says the door might be left for him to return. What if he has a great season in Italy? He may not want to return.
He would want to return.
Well, if he's under contract and it's only a loan, it does not matter. They have to come up to a transfer fee then at that point, which will be best for all parties anyway.
And I do believe if he goes to
then make sure you have a first refusal in that.
Exactly, but I do think our club is
throwing a first refusal in that if he wants to stay.
But I feel as though this club, what they will do, they will watch him, and if he has a great season in Italy or wherever he goes, they will find some kind of way to bring him back. You know, because I just know this, because I believe honestly too that it is a point of money. They know who he is, because no disrespect, to the great Philip Jones, but if this was Phil Jones, we wasn't gonna coach all of this. So
I believe too that a year away he will be under microscopic watch of the field.
Yeah.
Okay? And how he carries about himself in those times, especially being a newborn father as well.
Yeah.
Right? I think probably after a season out, a lot more people will be, and if he shows that he has changed, a lot more people may be forgiven.
Yes. Definitely. Right. Mason needs to keep a low profile. And Martin is saying, well, the behavior of the Spanish officials of the Women's World Cup team, he might be a hit in Spain. You know, I mean,
Well, to be fair, that was only one. That was only one guy, but yeah. But I get the point.
you know. All right, now on to, I guess, some more annoying news. You know, this club has a habit of having a horrible time to sell players. You know, horrible time. And again, for yet another transfer window, we have players to get rid of, and they cannot go. We have players like Harry Maguire, who were on the list to be sold. He has refused to leave. We have players like like Scott, who was kind of on the periphery of either being sold or being kept. You know, we have players like Williams, who is still here. Players like Bai, who apparently is now leaving on a free. And we're hearing talks of now the club trying to loan out Palestri. Now, for me personally, I don't think that a loan for Palestri is a good thing. I think this year, especially seeing how our right side has some serious problems. Yes, I know people will say there's only 2 games, but this is not a 2 game situation. Palestri has shown within those 2 games what he could do. So so I will give it to you all. Where where does the blame pass to? Is it Richard Arnold? Is it Ten Hag? Is it the Glazers? Is it the seal of the club? I mean, what is it that about our players that we cannot seem to get rid
All
of?
right, I will. I want this one first. Now on this one, you have to remember this right now. These players can fit in at certain clubs somewhere. The issue now, this goes back to a man named Ed Woodward.
Mhm.
He put average players on extraordinary wages, and now they think that's what they deserve everywhere else when they do not deserve that. And on top of that, the clubs that they're wanting to go to are not willing to pay anywhere near what United wages should be.
No.
I think one exception could be what Nottingham Forest was paying Jesse Lingard like $250 a week or something like that, but that's because he went on a free. But besides that, I think now the issue now is these players know that, and they're trying to find every single way to continue that pay that they have. As some of them are even willing, it seems that they're willing to forego their international careers just because they're on ridiculous wages they're not going to get anywhere else. I'm not mentioning names, so Greg, you cannot say that I said it.
No,
Anyway,
well, I would say Harry Maguire. I would say Harry Maguire.
So,
I
but
was
the issue again now is again it's simply Ed Woodward and putting average players on extraordinary wages, and now we cannot get them off the books. So unfortunately, you're pretty much for the next couple of years, you're not going to be able to rely on player sales to fund different transfers. You're just going to have to make deal with what you can with the rest until probably for the next 2 seasons. You're going to be looking at that, unless somehow these players value playing more than their contracts.
Mm. Now, the thing is, right? You are on one side, we put ourselves in this mess. We gave these guys these huge contracts with
Ed
huge money.
Woodward, not we.
Well,
exactly.
right. I
Yeah,
know.
do not put Ed Woodward and myself in the same category. Please
Okay,
do not.
well, I would say right, it's Ed Woodward, right? So, I know the club now are having to deal with obviously the remnants of those very poor choices. Well, Kes, I mean, I'd ask you, with our lack of outgoings, do you see us really and truly going back out there and purchasing players that we need? And will we have the money to do it?
Well, is that yes and no? Yes, meaning something about last minute and the excitement of it Manchester United just cannot get away from. They love it. Right? Going out, I don't think so. I really don't think so. Because somebody need to give that certain number 5 a hard slap and wake up call. Right? Because, and the only person who can do that right now is Gareth Southgate, the England team manager. Because Colville for Chelsea is nipping on that heel. And if he end up starting the next international break ahead of Maguire, he gonna feel it. But we will both know Southgate don't have the balls. Right? The thing about it is we are now trying to correct the mistakes Ed Woodward made. But these players with the player power, right, trying to do a Phil Jones.
Right.
I say Maguire was to cut your losses and give him his 7 million to get out. Ten Hag trying to be nice, right? Trying to be nice and saying he has to work hard and cha-la-la-la-la. But in all, Ten Hag telling you, boy, you're effing shit. Right? So, but and all as we on this topic, with coming in, I would think we are no better than Chelsea. Anytime we have Arambat waiting all this time and not getting before the transfer window closing, we are no better than Chelsea for what Chelsea did. Right? I say.
All right. No, but what I will ask I here is, are they wrong for sitting on the bench and collecting their money? Are they wrong? Or is it that, like Devin said and Kes said, these players have a lack of ambition?
Boy, it could be looked at in so many different ways. Can you all hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, we can.
Hello?
Yeah, even though you look like you're in a cave in Afghanistan, we can hear you.
Robert, you all?
Yeah, we are you. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, apparently I might have to hide out there because it seems like a targeting one man. So I might have to go in and hide it.
Oh, boy.
But the thing with it is this. If you are at a club like Manchester United, it doesn't matter what number you wear on your back or what position you play. If you are prepared to simply sit on the bench, get your money, and by doing that and not moving, you are holding back the progress of the entire club and first 11, then you clearly were never a fan of this club. You clearly never cared about this club. Everything you said when the club gave you the armband turns out to be a lie. So yes, I throwing it right back on you, right? And you're proving that you never deserved that armband in the first place. The thing about it with them is, you will say, yes, get your bag because footballers have, any professional athlete has unknown length of career. You could be at the top of the world and get one injury and that's the end of it. And you want to take care of yourself and your family, right? All said and done. But then there comes a point, and now I'm going to make real enemies locally saying this. So I want to say it, very, very clearly. We boy moving like a bad stereotyped public servant in Trinidad and Tobago. Notice I didn't say all. I said a bad stereotyped public servant. The type that encourages the thinking that they reach, rest, and return, and will sit there and simply move up the ranks and get promoted because of longevity and seniority, and keep getting posts that they know they're not qualified, fit, or capable to do, but accepted it because they're going after the bag, the money running, the perks running. That is basically what you're doing there, right? It is not just about a lack of ambition now. It is about, at some level, I feel this has to be a get back at, because you take the armband from me and you embarrass me, and the fans don't like me, and all of this. Right. At some level, is a bit of pettiness going on here, you know, because it is alleged that he was offered $6 million and he said that's not enough. So he literally, apparently, is expecting the club to pay him off for every single dollar that he would have earned for the rest of his contract. Come on. Which club really and truly does that? Now, we could do it if the Glazers say they're not taking no damn dividends for the next 2 dividend periods. But of course, we know that's not going to happen.
No.
So he is willing to hold back. And my final point, I don't even believe that if Southgate sat him down now and said, "Brother, rock so, or else you're not getting picked," that would even matter to him. Because this man has bought into his own hype. Right? People who blame in Ten Hag, here's what. The man is not an interim manager like Ralph Ragnick was or Michael Carrick was when they took the job. So he knows he has a contract and he has terms he has to abide by. He can't just sit down in a press conference and say whatever he wants to say because he knows in 2-3 months he gone anyhow. And even if he did that, the same people who say it is his fault go to him and bash the man for lack of loyalty and lack of decorum and training players under the bus. But he doesn't lose position.
Yes, very, very true. Mark Lewis here saying they are not wrong. That's easy money for no work. Martin Phillips is saying players will only step up to me when we have new owners. Now,
nonsense.
Yeah. I don't think so personally, because I think even if we do get new owners, I think it will take them a while to get to those players. Like, they will have so many other things to do before they deal with players. So I think Maguire and them will still be earning a nice living. And Mark is saying it's called easy.
No, I think the first thing that would happen. If I could just interject, new owners would bring a new business model. If the Sheikh buys it, he is promising to make it a debt-free purchase. In other words, he's taking care of the debt, everything. So that means that the model that was being used to amortize these players' value over the years, that's why they were getting long contracts. So you could keep listing them as an asset of the club. An 80 million asset for 7 years, right? All of that changes if you get new owners who wipes out the debt and brings in a new business model for the club. So right away, men going to realize, hello, stupid contract now be jumping up no more. Stupid wage now be jumping up no more. All of these contracts will end up going under renegotiation one time.
Exactly.
Just a update now, self, whether United sell any midfielders or not, they have to bring in a midfielder, right? Because Mount is out for 4 to 6 weeks.
Yep.
However, with that being said, Kobe Mainoo is not far from return.
No,
I think he's still far. It's not October.
He's not far from return. So just as a heads up. So, and we all know we're expecting big things from him when he comes in. So.
All right. Well,
man had a dismount off the horse and get walking.
Well, talking about Mason Mount and performances. Over the weekend, we had a game against Spurs. I believe the score was 2-0, I believe, the Spurs. Um Now the obviously the performance was not, it was not good. We had moments in the first half. I think we began the game quite well, to be fair, in the first half. But somewhere along the way, things began to, well, to break down, to fall apart. Now we have to now, well, I am now asking the question to all of you. Did the Spurs game expose Ten Hag's management style, and did it expose more of the weaknesses of this team? Because we came into the season very optimistic. Because I mean, to be fair, we did end our season well. We won the Carabao Cup. We came third. We were playing good football. We added Mason Mount. We added Onana, which we all asked for, and we got in Hoyland. Okay, fair enough. He was injured, but at the same time, he was here. But yet, with these new players coming in, it seems as though our play has now regressed. So now I have to ask. I mean, do we start to question the manager, the players? I mean, feel free for anyone to jump in.
I have a question.
Mhm.
If we scored our chances, would we even be discussing this?
Yes.
Yes, I believe so, because I think
Yes.
even if we had won the game, the way how we would have won the game is very similar to how we beat Wolves. We won the game, yes, but we didn't win the game. We didn't play. See, it's one thing where you are having these kind of performances at the tail end of the season where you don't care how you win, you just win. At this point in the season, we should be seeing some sorts of, you know, how can I say it? We should be seeing much better performances than last season. We were supposed to go up a gear. I have seen I have seen Arsenal unfortunately go up a gear. I have seen Newcastle go up a gear. You know, as much as Chelsea got beat the, over the weekend, even they are now. I mean, now to be fair, they were 12th, so their game was like, I mean, a step, right? It's a step, but still, they did improve.
And by the way, they're right now in 15th spot. So let us remind all the Chelsea fans out there that we're not taking no banter from them. So they're still below us on the table.
Exactly. But they do have Poch, and I do believe that it will click at some point, be it this season or next season, but at some point it will. And Man City, despite their shaky start, have again looked, they haven't looked as though they have lost a step, well, in their greatness. So that's why, I would say yes to you, that we will still ask questions. But
What the big thing about this right now, and it again goes along with what we said about Wolves.
mhm,
We got lucky. It's as simple as that. Because we should have lost that match. If they had a better finisher, we would have lost that. The biggest issue now, which it seems now is the blueprint that, and I think this has been a while now, probably since Ole days, I would say, is that teams know how to set up against us. And it's so simple that we cannot beat the low block, and teams are catching on to this. We play well against teams who actually come out and throw the kitchen sink at us, but the teams who play the low block and just wait for us to lose possession, they know better, because we push so much so far forward, and then we leave our midfield exposed. We leave Casemiro exposed. This is 2 games in a row where Casemiro's been exposed. If you pay attention to it, like there's times when he's basically having to guard 4 men, and then people want to put stats about how much he's been dribbled past when he has to guard 4 men at the same time. So that's something that I question Ten Hag about, why it is that way. Once we could get that fixed, maybe it will change. I personally think Ten Hag was very dependent on Kobe Manu coming in. It's unfortunate he got injured in the preseason the way that he did. However, I still cannot, for the life of me, I have to question some of the attackers. First and foremost, how many more chances are you going to give Anthony? Secondly, why are you not playing Marcus Rashford in his preferred position? And finally, if you play Jadon Sancho as a false nine throughout the preseason and it worked well, why are we not doing it now? So those are the questions that I have for Ten Hag. But besides that, I don't have anything else to say, really.
All right.
Here's my throw. Here's my throw to you, right? Yes, the manager sets out his tactics. He has his team meeting before the game. He sets up the team. He picks his personnel. They take the field with instructions as to how this is going to go. We will sit on the outside and assume that the manager does this based on the opposition. It's going to be tailored for the opposition. You're going to know how the opposition play. He's had people looking at footage. He's been scouting, blah, 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 blah. Right? However, none of those guys started playing football yesterday. They are all seasoned professional players who have been playing football at the highest level for a while. Don't tell me that if the manager tells you go out there and do X, Y, Z and play so, and you, big hardback professional player, realize this shit now working, or they can't take a decision to do something different on the field. Nah. You can't tell me you so afraid your manager that, boy, I can't go through the middle there, because the boss man tell me I had to play on the right. And I can't go back on the left, because the boss tell me I had to play through the middle. What you going to do, beat you? Bench you? All right. But we might have win the game if you do it. So maybe if you do it, and you come off halftime leading by a 2-0, you can say, but boss, you tell me do so, and we try something and then walk in, so let me go with what we trying. Right? These guys too experienced and too seasoned in it to just blindly say it. And yes, the manager can have the wrong tactics on the wrong day. But you just can't go out there and blindly do something that you're seeing not working. It's not that they're not seeing it not working. So all of them are to take blame too. All. If you realize that you following a tactic and you're leaving Casemiro in the back to deal with 4 men, somebody had to say, oh, fellas, this ain't working, I drop it back. I go in and hold that space here. Nah, man, we better than that.
But I'll ask again, I'll ask all of you, but especially to Cass. I know you want to see it. The food. How much did we miss the food Hoyland? How much?
Well, there was a reason he was bought. But apparently he was bought with a slight injury. And I still have the firm belief he will be unleashed at some point in time this weekend. Right? He did not play in it was today that scrimmage was. That behind the closed door friendlies. Right? He didn't play there. Right? But we ball in since last season. We ball in. Our biggest issue is lack of scoring, lack of goals. Right? Even in these 2 games we have played, you see the amount of chances. Right? In that Wolves game, if he was fit, I could clearly see he scoring a hat trick. Because where that ball has been passed, a natural number 9 would have been there. Right? So
Listen, for those of us who play the fantasy football, if you
Edwards in
use my
first place,
fantasy
by the way,
football hub,
on that.
yeah,
I just want to throw that
yeah,
plug in there. Check who's in
that's
first
up.
place in fantasy, by the way.
No one cares, man. No one cares. No one cares.
If you
No one cares,
look
man.
at the stat,
No one cares.
there is a stat on it, Devin, expected goals per game, right? Manchester United has been ranked in third spot.
Yeah.
The teams above us were Brighton, I believe, and Brentford. Right? Yes, Devin. We know you're top of the league, Devin. 2 weeks in, Devin. Woo!
Yeah.
I just
That's
had
like
some
Maguire
fun with
saying.
that.
You know what?
Hold on. That's like Harry. That's like Harry saying. Harry saying 2 weeks into the season and I ain't do nothing wrong.
yeah.
Yeah, blame me for nothing for the first 2 weeks.
Oh, but
You go, Dev. You go.
I'll ask this. With Mount, did Ten Hag make a mistake about going behind Mount so soon? Did we need him so soon, or did we need a player like Amber first?
We needed every midfielder we could get.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. No, because I mean, watching
I
the
think
game
we will not.
was very see, like how Casemiro was left behind because again, Bruno and Mount didn't ever step up.
I did not expect all of them to start together. However, I expected them to rotate between matches and subs and whatnot and take advantage of the 5 substitutions. And the big thing with that was to prevent burnout. That was my expectation with this. And to see them playing like this
Ten Hag
has me questioning that as well.
No, but Ten Hag didn't cater for Minu getting injured because Minu would have been a significant. Yeah,
correct.
My personal belief, guys, we will not see the best of Mason Mount unless Bruno is not on the field and Mason is playing that role. I think that's the only time we will see exactly what Mason Mount can do if he has the Bruno role and Bruno is not on the field.
But how can that be if Bruno's captain?
But
captain don't always have to play. Hint.
No, but the things are here. I don't think Monk was bought with that intention. Right?
He may not have been bought with that intention, but the type of player he is, I don't think it makes sense trying to get him and Bruno to play together for him to be doing something that he is not naturally able to do very well. Right?
This is very similar to Ericsson of last season, where we bought him to be a player off the bench, but then he became a starter.
Yeah, because McFred was nothing.
And that's the thing. But with the game coming up on the weekend, we are playing Nottingham Forest. Now, for all who don't know, we had a behind closed doors game today against Burnley, and we were beaten 3-0 by Burnley. Now, I know it has been online. People have been saying, we are in the dirt. But if you watch the team that played, it was Van der Beek, I believe, Plestri. It was a lot of the French players, a lot of the I don't know if anyone has the actual team sheets, but
hold on.
Mostly players who didn't play on the weekend.
Johnny Evans,
right.
Johnny Evans, Hannibal Mejbri, Alvaro Fernandez, Scott McTominay, Anthony Martial, Donny van de Beek, and Pelestri all started. Right? I'm going to get at 7. We're missing 4 starters. I want to guess Henderson probably started as keeper if he was fit enough. If not, it would have to be Onana because Heaton is injured. Or they might have used one of the young keepers.
All right.
Right? So that would take it to 8. And then the others would clearly be in defense because if you're seeing Johnny there, Johnny is the only centre back. You're missing a centre back unless you're playing Scott as centre back. So Victor probably played, or somebody else may have fallen from the under 23s or something. Right? So I think basically guys in and around the first 11 is those 7.
Right.
So if them playing and losing, they'll even for Eric to do off the bench, right?
Well, I will ask you all, does that result have any bearing on your, I guess, prediction for the weekend?
It has no bearing on my prediction for the weekend at all. That was a rotated side, and I bet that was just to see if they could play the system and whatnot. And players there, you also had a lot of youth there who had not played that level as well too. However, with that being said, the only concern that I would have with that, which I don't think it really applies as much to this weekend coming up, is the lack of squad depth. Which I think that may come into a factor later on towards the end of the season. But as of now, it has no. I still. It changes nothing about this weekend coming up. I fully expect a response, and I expect 3 points, especially a home match at Old Trafford. And they know the pressure will be on with the protests that are planned around as well. With that too.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, for those who don't know what I'm talking about, there are social media groups that are doing protests against the Glazer ownership, and they're planning a couple of things, including I think it's a 60-minute sit-in after the match as well. So there's like I said, it's just to show that there's going to be a lot of animosity around that, and I'm sure that the club and the players are aware of this as well too. So I fully expect a response because it's already going to be a hostile environment, and that will just make it even worse. And on top of that, since the club is going around now bragging about how the last time that we lost a match at Old Trafford, it was 30 matches ago. Unfortunately, the last time that they lost, I was there. So I'm staying away from home matches for a little while, with that being said. Anyway, but then now you got to keep that streak going. So, yeah.
Well, there may be a response, not just on the field.
This was Ten Hag's message to the Glazers.
There will be a response from the management as well. You don't know. When they don't like to be in that limelight with protests and things like that, right? They might really go and get what the man been wanting all this time.
Yes, but now again, I will ask this is very similar to what happened last year. Good afternoon to Alex and to Jordan.
I want to give a special shout out to Jordan as well. So Jordan is listening in from the UK as well. You guys always ask me about how I get a lot of my memorabilia signed stuff. He is the guy to get it from. So keep him in mind as well.
All right.
Welcome, Jordan.
Hey, bless up, Jordan. Yeah. Yeah. Be friends with everybody and not just Devin. This was Ten Hag's message to the board. This was Ten Hag basically telling the board and management that, hey, everything on the bench is really up to scratch. Because I play a whole 7 from the bench, and our side hit with 3. We couldn't even score. It's not like we lost 3-2 partner, or draw 3 all 3-0.
Yeah.
So we couldn't even score in a closed door friendly where you have no pressure from the fans. No pressure. It was like COVID settings, empty stadium, and you couldn't even put in one. Right? So if this make them realize, I don't know what will. And it is not like if they cannot bring somebody in the last days of the window, because if you structure the deal well, you don't have to put out a lot up front, which I believe is something City has done with this Jeremy Doku deal, I think where they're not going to be paying a lot of the money up front. So it's going to be spread out over a longer period of time. So there's less of a hit to what you want to use as your financial fair play excuse, which is also, I think, the reason why they even entertain sending Pelistri out on loan, because there's a rumored loan fee that will come in for him. And is the only person they will probably be willing to send out to get a little money in. But they're not going to send Anthony, and they're not going to send Sancho, and Ahmad is injured. Right? So if you're grasping at straws to get in some money, that's the only viable option to send somebody else.
All right. Well, I'll go on to one quickly. Give me your well, not your prediction, but your team and how and if we play. What is how can I say it? What is the least that you will expect from this team? Even if we win the game 2-0, do you at least expect the team to play better than last week? I'll go on to everyone.
Yes. For starters, Anthony needs to, if Højlund is fit, he needs to be put in right away at that number 9, because I cannot think of a better team for him to start out against. And with that being said, Rashford needs to be out on the left, and Sancho needs to run on the right. Let Anthony and Garnacho come up. Let Anthony hold the bench and let Garnacho come off the bench later on. Now with the midfield, this is going to sound a little bit off right now. But obviously, the Bruno Casemiro mount is not working right now. I think that you have to experiment with Eriksen on this one. Eriksen or McTominay, to be very honest. And let one of them come off the bench to finish out the match later on. And like I said, I am expecting a full 3 points from this match.
Right.
Anything else is unacceptable.
All right. Yes, I mean, let me know.
This would be my punt, right?
Right.
Onana in goal, and from left to right across the back, Shaw, Martinez, Varane, Wan-Bissaka, right? Next to Casemiro, I would put Eriksen, Bruno in the 10. On the left wing, Rashford. On the right-hand side, Sancho. And I would start Martial at number 9. Bring in Højlund on in the second half. Reason being, if you start Højlund and the boys start to break down in the first half because you're really not match fit, you're going to have to make an early substitution. Right?
You think Martial
and he's sweating this Tuesday game, he should be fit enough to give you at least 45.
We all know Martial is a good player when he's fit. But the problem is, again, he's never fit.
I think Martial will start, and if you could get Højlund to start, because I ain't starting Rashford at number 9. Right? I just not going through that again. So those right now would be Martial at 9.
Wow. I was actually gonna say if Højlund's not ready, you got to put Sancho up there. You got to put Sancho up there, and I'm still trying to figure out the right side now, because I was thinking Anthony, but Anthony's had too many chances now and is not producing like he should. So do you now put Pelistri on that?
If you start,
give Pelistri the go.
If you start Sancho, if you're going to start Sancho up front, Devin, and he needs somebody for the right side because he's given Anthony a rest, he's going to be forced to push Bruno out to the right and play a midfield with Casemiro.
Because you could potentially maybe even think about Garnacho out there or Pelistri as well.
Have we ever tried Garnacho on the right to see if he's effective? I can't remember ever doing that. He's only ever played on the left-hand side. The only one who has shown that he's very comfortable playing both left and right is Jadon Sancho. Marcus is a waste of time on the right hand side,
Yeah.
right? And if you put Anthony on the left hand side, it's gonna be the same thing. You're
Yeah.
gonna know that all you're gonna do is run to the byline and try the touching on the left side. So he's
Yeah.
too predictable on either side. So, and I don't
Alright.
want to see Bruno playing on the right. I really don't want to see him wasted on the right. That's why I would say Sancho on the right. You have Bruno at the camp. And your lesser of all evils is start Martial. Hope he gives you about 60 minutes. And then you bring on Hoyland at the end of the game.
Alright. Alright. Chris,
Right.
give me your score prediction.
By the way, my score line would be, boy, 11 and home. 3-0 United.
Yeah.
With a brace from Rashford and one from Bruno. So I can get some fantasy points.
Yay.
All right. Well, obvious Onana starts in goal, right? Not like we have a choice.
Yeah.
Across the back line, Shaw, Martinez, Varane. I was gonna go towards Dallo, right? But Nottingham Forest, as a ex-United player who is gonna start that game in Ilanga will outrun Dallo, right? So Wan-Bissaka starts as right back for me there. In midfield, even if Mount was fit, I do believe he would have started Eriksen in this game because Nottingham Forest is going to play a low block, right? So, and Eriksen plays a deeper role, and that is what we was missing in the first two games, right? Because you had Mount and Bruno pushing up, and Casemiro stranded, right? So the midfield, Casemiro, Eriksen, and Bruno. I don't see at any time in that game he pushing Bruno to the right side because then we have absolutely no number 10 or anybody there to dictate the pace in that number 10, right? Please, for the love of God, put back Rashford on his favorite left side, please. Right? There's no doubt about it. Ten Hag loves Anthony. I don't know what, but Ten Hag loves Anthony. Right? Even though, in my opinion, Pelestri gives Ten Hag more of what he's been looking for. Right? So I don't really even understand the loan rumors. But as I saying that, something just occurred to me. And what Anthony has above any other winger to come on the right side is the ability to cover and defend. We don't give Anthony credit enough for that. Right? In the striker position, I honestly believe he will start with Marshall. I honestly believe that. And God willing,
Off the bench.
food.
Off the bench.
The man who come for food, come off the bench.
Well, I would say this. I mean, what I would like to see above everything is an improvement in our play. Yes, the 3 points is good. That's wonderful. But I need to see something, right? Because remember, we do have Arsenal coming up next. And that game, we cannot. Now, to be fair, last season, we went into the Arsenal game in a real bad place. And we left there and we won the game. You know what I mean? So, again, I know these boys have a way to turn up for big games. You know, I do. But I just want to see a performance this weekend because I think the Ten Hag owes us that, and those players they owe us that, and that's what I want to see. I mean, I do think we'll win. I think it'll be. I think I would say a 3-1. I think so. Because I don't believe that Martinez is really up to mark as yet, but I'll give him a game. I will give him a game. But let's go through some of these comments. Courtney is saying, fellas, you need to understand the Glazers are not selling the club. Devin, take off that thing off your head, right? Take it off.
No, all I would say is don't be so pessimistic. Don't be so pessimistic is all that I will say.
And so I hear you're backing the wrong team. Take those things off your head. If not, we're on sale. Martin Phillips likes Zahir score. Greg is saying Erickson is the only person to compliment Casemiro at this point, and he does have a point because we don't have another player like Amrabat or so on right now. So that is a very good point. Sending Pelestri out on loan makes no sense, and I totally agree. Anthony is going to track back. That's why Ten Hag likes him, and
yeah, he does. He does provide cover when Wan-Bissaka goes forward.
But Anthony does not understand how to use his other foot. I don't understand.
What other foot? He has another foot?
Apparently not. Apparently not. And Greg is saying Holland should be fit, hopefully. And Sky Sports says Sheikh Jassim wants to buy it. That means a negative. Me and Courtney keep saying the correct thing. People, relax yourself. Don't get typed. Don't be like Devin and type ahead. Okay, don't do that. Don't do that. Just see what happens when I see that ink dry.
I want to marry Gal Gadot. It isn't going to happen.
Robert, we go have to have a long discussion with this because,
like I said, just relax, calm down. Don't be so pessimistic.
It will happen. They have to
so
sell.
Pessimistic, everybody. Yeah. Relax and calm down.
Yeah.
Because how many things have you known me to get wrong?
Tony Stark.
How many things have you known me to get wrong? Relax. Relax.
Mr. International. Don't worry, next week.
Devin,
I will
promise us one thing, Devin. Promise us that your source is not Fox News. Because brother, them lost level credibility.
Is not who?
Tell me it's not Fox News and tell me it's not Fox News and Tucker Carlson, please.
Wait, he's not. First of all, no. First of all, no. Second of all, they're not even on the same network. So yeah.
Fox News is equivalent to the Sun.
Oh,
right?
I can promise you that they probably do not even know who David Beckham is. So trust me, it's not them.
All right. Let's get into the last segment very, very quickly. Memes of the week. So we have so many to go on. Now, no one here has seen them except me. So, fellas, we will start. For everyone who understands this, for everyone that understands this is a very, very deep cut. Very, very deep cut. For my boys who love Prison Break.
No.
You have to explain this one.
Now, Prison Break was obviously a show. It ran for like 4 seasons, and this guy T-Bag was one of the main bad guys of the show, but then he became a somewhat of a hero. But if you do watch his face and this guy's face here, they are very, very familiar. Very, very, very familiar. Very familiar. And our good friend has a picture with Bruno Fernandes in a Barcelona jersey. how do Spurs fans have the right to talk to us? I will never know. But I mean, you have to admit.
That's Photoshop. You can see that Photoshop. That's clearly Photoshop.
And no,
The man head to body ratio.
I won't doubt this. I will not doubt this meme.
Wow. Wow.
To me, this
Oh, geez.
window is the epitome of you track a girl for a whole month, and a man just come in, whoops, and take her. You go again by CJ. You go again.
Liverpool getting CJ through this whole window.
And now this is
Wow. Wow.
$1 billion.
Wow.
Now, you have to ask. I mean,
Attack of the clones.
the whole team, the whole team.
Every new signing that mandatory had to look like that, probably.
Yeah, apparently. And last but not least, the race for double seven is on. It is on because if it's one thing, we cannot be, blind. And I do believe that Mount will come good.
So too.
Yeah, but I do understand. I don't think that Mount, Bruno, Casemiro thing is not working out. It is not working out at all. And now
Go away, mama loca boo boo day. Shut your mouth, go away, mama loca boo boo day.
my favorite segment of the show. I know Devin have been waiting for a whole weekend now. Top Shutter and Blue Man. And for those who don't understand, the top shutter is just that person, that team. It doesn't have to be in sports, it could be in whatever, but everything is going right, everything is wonderful, everything is just CJ. That is the top shutter. Top shutter is CJ. CJ is my top shutter for the kids. The original Birdman, CJ. Big you up. And the Boo Boo Man is just that person where nothing goes wrong, everything is just wrong, everything is just horrible, everything is a mess. It doesn't matter what you do, everything comes up Liverpool. Everything in your life comes up Liverpool. Everything. So, top shutter and Boo Boo, who wants to go first?
I want first on this one.
I know everyone first.
I've been waiting for this one. I've been waiting for this one. And I will start with my top shutter first.
Yeah.
So my top shutter for this week is going to be Mary Earps.
Mhm.
Mary Earps had an absolutely fantastic World Cup.
Yeah,
Even stopped a penalty during the regular match in the World Cup final.
Mhm.
Announced herself on the world stage, which all of we as Man United fans knew who she was, but now she announced herself to the world as well with that. So much so now I see other teams saying, hopefully she comes to us. No. You keep away from her. She belongs to us.
Mhm.
I know what I've been waiting for since I think it was about 2 days ago, actually. I think it was Monday.
Yeah.
My boo man is your track and field hero, Otto Bolden. Reason being, in the US here, he is a commentator here for track and field and whatnot.
Right.
You all know who Sade Williams is, right?
Yeah.
What country is she from? For the life of me, I cannot understand why somebody from Trinidad and Tobago confuses this with the freaking Bahamas.
Because
Nah.
And he did it twice.
Devin,
He
you're
did it
lying.
in the semifinals, and he did it today in the final as well. For the life of me, you are from
Devin,
Trinidad.
you're lying.
You
That
have
can't be.
medals from
Nah, you
them.
can't be serious.
You compete against Obadeli. God knows how many times. You are all people should know the difference between the Bahamas and Barbados. I don't get it. So you have to make that make sense to me. So he has got to be my boo man for this week.
well, I mean, it does make sense. It does make sense, but you have to understand, right? You have to understand what school did Arthur Bolden go to? Anyone knows? Anyone knows
Arriba.
what school he went to?
Arriba.
I do. You know? Please let you. No, say it. Say it. What school did he go to? What school did he go to?
What's Courtney? What's Courtney? Jump in the chat. What's Courtney?
What school did Arthur Bolden go to?
Guilty.
He went to where?
Guilty.
He went where?
He went.
He went to Holy Name Brother School.
Mhm.
Yeah, to like just but by the way, to me, like I said this earlier as well today. Like confusing Bahamas and Barbados is almost as bad as calling it chicken curry.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
Come on, man. It gets better than that.
You see-
Confusing Barbados and Bahamas
You
is
see,
as bad as confusing Harry Maguire with a defender. Come on, man. Come on, man.
International TV too, eh?
Yes.
oh no, you see, Courtney, I'll tell you, right?
Trust me,
Up
all
with
the
him.
pages that heard it have all had words to say about it as well too.
To get up with him because
Yeah.
Arthur Bolden went to a poor school with poor education. Poor. I mean, it's sad, you know, it is sad. It is sad. Yes.
But top shutter, I was thinking long and hard, but I have to give West Ham kudos. You know, then I mean anybody could be Chelsea these days.
Right.
Right, to do so with 10 men and without Rice.
Mhm.
You know, well, Boo Boo, man, I have two. One, Chelsea, and I will always keep talking about it. Chelsea for what they did to Tyler Adams. This boy did the medical. All he was waiting, it was on the paperwork to sign, right? And then pull it because they needed more money to go for Caicedo, who cost them,
Yeah.
who cost them the game.
You don't make this
Oh,
shit
God.
up.
No.
You can't make this up in truth, right? The next boo man is the Refs Association in England. It's some of the most atrocious calls. Oh my God, they get worse. You didn't think they couldn't get worse, they get worse,
Mhm.
right? And how much red cards been delivered since the start of the season? That had to be a new record,
Mhm.
right? Some of them refs don't even know the rules.
No.
Like Bruno picking up a yellow card for talking to the ref. He is the captain. The rule says the captain can question the ref. He the one who can approach the ref, right? He didn't gesticulate or get aggressive with you or anything like that. He come and he talk to you, game a yellow card,
Mhm.
right? And they wonder why when European tournaments, English officials are being less and less on that roster, right? They are getting less and less. They're not looking at themselves. They are ridiculously poor,
Mhm.
right? So that is my top shot and boo boo, man.
All right. Is that here?
Top shutter, the first time World Cup champion Spain women's team. Especially the young lady, I can't remember her name off the top of my head, who scored the winning goal. Because from reports coming out, apparently the grandfather,
No, the father.
Carmosa or Cardosa or something. Right? She's the left back. A father passed away, and they didn't let her know until after the final, right? Because they didn't want it to affect her. So, you're playing in a tournament under all these things. They had some issues with the federation, one person in particular, apparently. And, you went in there, you reach your first ever final, and you win. So, kudos to the Spanish women team. They become only the second country in the world to have had both men's and women's team win the World Cup after Germany. Right? The Boo men, and I say Boo men, every single individual who nominates a certain midget for UEFA Player of the Year. Like, brothers, please, right? Even if you want to just look at Champions League, Sadik scored 7 goals in Champions League, of which 3 of them was a hat-trick against Maccabi Haifa. Oh boy, what pedigree, Maccabi Haifa. Whoop. Right? The man who scored the winning goal in the final and was a big part of City winning the Super Cup can't even get nominated. Now, I'll clearly on simple kiss-ass mode with that short man. Serious. And I don't care how much Argentina fans. So even if you say it's international, then, or you want to say the World Cup have something to do with it, which, by the way, is not a UEFA tournament, that's a FIFA tournament. But if that is the case and you're nominating him because of the World Cup, how come Argentina World Cup coach get nominated for Coach of the Year? Let me done this shit now. Everybody just kissing his little ass because they're fanboys. Right? I done with it. All of them competition lost relevance to me. It's just a popularity contest now.
I've always said that. It's a popularity
all who
contest.
Nominate him, boo-boo men.
Well, I cannot disagree. I can't disagree at all. I would say my top shutter, I will also give it to the Spain national team. You won the World Cup. Congratulations. Because there's no one else. Because every other person I have now on my list are boo-boos. My first boo-boo is Lionel Messi. Right? You went to the MLS and you're beating primary school children and scoring goals. And everybody is up your tails telling you that you are the greatest thing ever. Oh, look at, and you want a little put trophy. It's a little trophy you win. And you have it with your boys Busquets and Alaba, who between the three of you all combined the rest of the team can't even fit in one pocket of you guys, right? It is just horrible. Like, I don't understand what is the fascination with this little short man playing in the MLS. He went there to retire and collect his money, right? It's not a big deal. The man's scoring powder puff goals. You understand? So, Lionel Messi, Boobo of the Week. Another Boobo of the Week, Liverpool, right? Liverpool, this team who I don't understand. These people are still trying to make Salah a thing. Salah is old. He is going downhill. So I'm trying to make it make sense, right? The whole Liverpool team, boo-boos. Chelsea, you'll take the ultimate stamp. You are boo-boos from now till the end of the year. Bar none. You're buying people from here and everywhere and still can't get a win.
Buy it, battery, buy it.
You can't buy a win. You cannot buy a win. You cannot buy a win. Oh, and then I also had to give a boo boo to Mason Mount. You come to my club, you ain't do nothing, now you're injured. You worse than that number 5 man. At least you have a reason to play the
Nah,
ass.
nah,
At least you have a reason to play the ass. You Norwich here, man. It is poor. I'm upset. I'm upset. I am upset because the man came and he was supposed to be the guy to push us forward, and now you're injured.
Be
I am
upset, but don't ever say he worse than Maguire. Come on now, man.
Well, okay.
Like, nobody outdoes Maguire, boy.
Well, yes, that is very true, and I apologize. You know,
Things
but
so bad, Rio Ferdinand might change the name of each channel.
Is that your last Boo Boo Man?
yeah,
I have one honorable mention as well for Boo Boo Man.
all right.
Luis Rubiales, the president of the Spanish FA.
Right.
Oh yeah.
Oh my word.
Do I need to explain this one on here for anybody?
Yes, go ahead, please. Yes.
Yeah, repeat it. Who don't know?
Yeah.
So for those who don't know, obviously we are in the whole Me Too movement. We have all these different things going on right now. And this man on the world stage, in the middle of the celebrations, is forcibly kissing players from the Spanish national team. And then on top of that is also grabbing pictures right next to the Spanish royalty as well. They're grabbing his crotch, making provocative, as if making it all about him. Come to find out later, this same person on the same day in the middle of celebrations that you do this, then you're flying back and you say, we need to come out and record a video together, downplaying as if it was nothing like that, trying to backtrack. Not having that. Absolutely not. In today's day and age like that, and you just sexually assaulted one of your World Cup winners for the entire world to see and try to act as if it's not a big deal.
Yeah.
So I mean, you're gonna call out, like, if you're gonna call out players for assault and different things like that right now, this man needs to be near the top of that list as well too.
Yeah, that is I don't know. It's just levels of hypocrisy, levels and levels of hypocrisy. You know, but
Still can't beat one man holding a whole club to ransom, but you know.
Boy, well, on that note, I have to say thank you very much for everyone for tuning in to the show. Thank you for everyone in the comments, for watching on, to Courtney, to Gregory, to Martin, to Jordan, and to my guests as always, Kestiban, Zahir, Devin. Thank you very much. I know, Devin, right now you are on the storm watch, you know, but but Dory, I think between Harry Maguire and that other Brazilian man with 1 foot, I think you'll be okay. Don't worry, you'll be okay. You'll be fine. And to everyone else, continue to support the channel. As always, like, share, subscribe, and because of Devin, I will let you take us out.
Well, as I always say, we keep the red flag flying high, because Man United will never die.
Never die. Good night, everybody.
Blessed night, man.
Good night.